Well, hello, my stamping friends. It's Leslie with LuvINK&Paper, running a minute or two behind schedule. Well, actually, my watch says I'm right on time, but feeling a little rushed because Rich and I got talking over dinner. He was a few minutes later than usual. We got talking more than usual, and all of a sudden I looked at the clock and I went, oh, I could be live in 5 minutes. So anyway, here we are. And I am happy that you're joining me, whether you're joining me here live and on August 8th, or if you are catching the Facebook replay or seeing this on YouTube, whatever works for you is great. Okay, so this is my current host code, likely through the end of the month, but we shall see. I always try to give you a little warning. Anyway, we are still, the kits are still on sale, okay, for up to 30% off. That includes the brand new Christmas tags kit. That includes some of the no stamping required kits. I just was working on one, the new Blossoms one, no stamping required. In fact, hang on one sec. Let me head on over here and get one of these. And I'll show you a little tiny bit about what I mean. So this Blossom Wishes kit makes tall slimline cards that are like this size, and these smaller ones. So I did one of the smaller ones, and I punched out the English greeting, "You Matter," and created this card today. Okay, and they come with the pretty blue envelopes, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so this one makes 8 cards, 4 of the tall slimline and 4 of the smaller size. And that kit is like $13. Now you may be going, well, yeah, but look at all that waste. Like, I don't need all of those greetings. Okay. Look at all the fun little labels you just got to stamp on. So if you have other, if you happen to have stamp sets or something that you would like to use these on a different card, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 extra labels that you can use, which I think is pretty great. And I think that kit is normally $13 or $14 or something, and so it's, I think, 10 something or 11 something. Really, really reasonable. Really reasonable. Especially if you want to make your own cards, but you're not really into the design piece. Stampin' Up's designers do a great job. You don't have to do the design work. So anyway, just so you know, they're still on sale. Now, we do have a couple more days. It's on the back of that. We do have a couple more days to sign up or make sure that you have redeemed your code or something. If you prepaid for Paper Pumpkin, make sure that you have gone through the steps so that you have redeemed that, so that you can get this Meaningful Flowers kit. So Thursday is the last day to sign up, and they will start shipping on Friday. All right, so that's that. So what are we playing with today? All right, so today we're going to play with the Trucking Along stamp set. Now, it is part of a bundle. It's part of the online exclusives, the July 2023 release. And there it was super popular. The little truck motif is everywhere right now. Like, it is a thing. All right, we had a truck a while back. I don't remember how many years. Quite a while, because I did the masking. I taught, I'll show you the technique, but I masked the back of the truck and taught that to the Stamp Club kids. So it was before 2011 that we had that. Anyway, so July 6th, when this went live to order, the bundle became unorderable very quickly because they ran out of the stamp set. Now, that doesn't happen very often, but it did. So Stampin' Up! Makes the stamp sets in Kanab, Utah. So they could run some more stamps as soon as, they could get things set up. And so within a couple of days, things were back, and then they were gone. The bundle was gone again because the punch sold out. Okay, so now the punch is not due back until October, I think, mid-October. But that doesn't mean you can't use this stamp set, okay? It's super easy to cut out if you're, if you're cutting. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to show you a bunch of samples where we just stamped, and it works great, okay? So this particular, there's several stamps to fill in, okay? So you can stamp the outline, and then there's a stamp for the body of the truck, there's a stamp for the wheels, and there's some two-step stamps for the things in the back of the truck, if you were so inclined. You can also add those wooden slats on the back of the truck if you want to add those. So lots of fun stuff, okay? So let's put that over there, and let me show you a couple, and then we'll make one together, okay? All right, so this is a slimline. This is Mary Nabe's card, and I totally cased it, and I think it's great. The designer series paper comes from the Gone Fishing designer series paper, and then the deckled rectangles. They are probably my favorite, and the new mini that's starting in September has deckled circles, which are pretty high on my list. They didn't make the first cut because there were some other things, but they are pretty high on my list. So anyway, this is a tall slimline. It fits in a business size envelope. Okay, so one of the, like, the business size envelopes. Number 10, I think they are, maybe. Anyway, that's what that fits in. All right, so here are a couple that I made because I participated in a class with Janet Wakeland, and part of the class was one of each of the pieces of the open sleigh, or one horse open sleigh, or whatever, designer series paper. So this is stamped, and then I fussy cut the truck out and fussy cut the tree to put in the back of the truck, okay? So all fussy cut here, but just stamped. This one, I did use the punch, but I could very easily have fussy cut that out, okay? And I embossed it. So I stamped it in white and then heat embossed it in white, so you can actually feel that, which is kind of cool. So anyway, you don't have to have the punch. It's really okay. So let's make this card. So I will tell you that I sort of practiced. This is another Mary Nabe card. And let me grab this so that, oh, looks like I already made a muck on it. Hang on, let's see if we can get that off. I may have to strategically place something there. Yep, looks like that's going to be our bottom, and we're going to have to put our road there. All right, so we're going to use some Memento black ink. Okay, and we have the road stamp, and I'm going to stamp it off so that it's not quite so dark. And let's just cover that over. There we go. Might want one more. There we go. Now we have a nice little road. All right. Then we need our truck. So let's stamp our truck on the road. All right. Like that. There we go. All right, now you may be a little worried that the road is going through the tires. Have no fear. We can solve that problem. Okay, the tires will be dark enough to cover that up. Now, you are likely to see my head. Well, maybe if I stand up. All right. Okay. There we go. Well, hello, hello. We have a whole lot of folks joining us tonight. I am so happy. All right, so there we go. Because as my friend Barbara Lash will tell me, there are no mistakes in Stampin' Up. So we have solved the road through the tire problem, okay? Because we know tires are not transparent, right? So we have solved that. Okay, let's make our truck a nice blue. Because if you know me, you know I'm pretty partial to blue. Now, earlier I took, you know those fakey credit cards that you get in the mail? You can use a block too. But this blueberry bushel pad is super juicy. And sometimes on these photopolymer stamps, what happens is you end up with the ink kind of beading up, and it's because there's too much on there. So what you can do is just take something smooth and just kind of push the ink down. Because of the way that these stamp pads sit in there when they're closed, the ink is designed to come to the surface, because usually you want your ink up near the stamping surface, right? So when that happens and it's too juicy, you just massage it down into the pad a little bit, and then when you ink your stamp, you don't get that. Now I'm going to use just my silicone pad. I know some people use the Stampin' Pierce mat. Oh, see, now it started to bead up. Hang on, we're just going to go again. We're going to take all that off. There's that block. Put it over here. Just going to push down in a little bit. Clean that off so I'm not making marks everywhere. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, well, except now there's ink in the window, which I don't want. There we go. I think I got it. Okay. All right, here we go. And it's not hard to line these up. And I love that we have the little highlights on the roof and the fenders and along the back part of the truck. So it's still pretty dark. I should have probably stamped it off, because if we had done a stamped off, this truck would have given us that old faded look. Oh well, you know, No mistakes. It's just a nice dark blue truck. Looks like the one, well, it doesn't really look like the one, but my dad had a nice dark blue truck in 1972, I think, was his truck. Maybe it was a 74. Dodge Power Wagon. All right, so let's add some things here. So we need something to make this look like sky. So let's add a few balmy blue clouds. And even though balmy blue is a very light color, we're going to stamp some of those clouds off so that they're very light. Not like the dark ones that were outside my window this afternoon. Holy cow. All right, one more. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so we have that. Now, we also, oh, I should have brought something silver. Do I have anything silver? Well, no, not that. Okay, so now we need to put something in the back. And since we're going to choose to use the Sending You Sunny Thoughts greeting out of the stamp set, we should probably, and especially since they're starting to be bloom now, are sunflowers. All right, so what I remember sharing with the kids at Stamp Club way back in the day when I stamped with 6- and 7-year-olds, that was a blast. Anyway, I showed them how to cover up the edge of their truck so that should they not line it up quite so carefully, and back then we only had the red rubber, oops, and I just got my finger in there. We only had the red rubber stamps. We didn't have these nice clear ones that you can see right through and know if you're lining up exactly right. So you often went over the edge, okay? And so they thought that was just the slickest little trick. All right, so let's grab my crushed curry and add the color to the sunflowers. Let me just bring this down here so I can hang on. This one's a little bit harder to, oh, you know what? Why it's harder? Because I've got it upside down. That will make it, oh, look at that. So much better. Okay, here we go. So much better. I was trying to do that upside down. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, silly. Okay, there's that. So then we've got a little bit more coloring to do. We just want to give these, I've got my pumpkin pie. Nope. I knew it was something about pie. Pecan pie. Sorry about that. Not pumpkin. Pecan pie. We do have a pumpkin pie color, which is that. All right, so those centers are pecan pie, and then we'll take the old olive. This green has been around since I've been stamping with Stampin' Up. It's traveled around a little bit from color family to color family. Anybody remember back when we had earth elements? Oh man, I just got some black on there. I must have had some on a finger or something. Crud muffins. All right, we'll have to fix that. All right, I don't know, maybe we can get a cloud to cover that up. Probably not, but maybe it'll just look like a cloud that has a little gray spot in it. You know, no mistakes. We're just going to try our best to, it's a little better if we really get light and then do one up there. There we go. Anyway, I may have to rearrange where I was thinking to put the greeting, because that's going to sort of irk me. All right, so now we have our truck. It's ready to go. I should have brought a silver or like a smoky slate marker, and I didn't, because we need the bumper and we need the wheels, but I'll finish that later. So earlier, so you didn't have to watch me do all of this, because that can get boring, I did a stamped background. I don't do this as much anymore. It used to be the way we always did backgrounds, because we didn't have any other way to add something to the background of our cards. So anyway, that was a thing. So let's grab my silicone mat. So we're going to use a pumpkin pie base, and we've got the crumb cake that measures, hang on, I can tell you this. Oh, here we go. It measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so it goes all the way across. 3 3/4 high. And then we're going to use some pieces of early espresso to. Mary's a lady after my own heart. So why, for some people do, they put a whole layer and you only see a little tiny bit on each side. And you got all that cardstock. Now, sometimes you can punch something out of the middle of it or something like that, but honestly, just use skinny strips like this. It just works. All right, so let's just, come on. Hey, this was working this afternoon. What's going on? Oh, I must be running out. I must need a new one pretty soon. Yeah, I do. Okay, well, I guess we're just going to use, hold on. Well, this one might be empty as well. All right, let's try this one. Nope, that one's too low as well. All right, so there's my seal. So let's go right along the edge here. Well, maybe. Boy, all my adhesives are giving me trouble this evening. Holy cow. All right, so we'll go right along the edge like that. And because I use my silicone pad, I can just flip anything that's on the front. I can just push it over onto the back like that. There we go. Then we can line this up like this. And then so I can see the edge of the silicone mat, and I have this at the edge of that, so I know that I will be pretty even right there, just like that. Now we're still gonna, there's a little bit of adhesive on the back, so I'm gonna have to still work on here. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, so we'll go right along that edge, like that. check to see if any came over the front. Nope. Okay, so grid paper, this is not just, well, this particular one I think is just a demonstrator available, but regular grid paper is available in the catalog, and I highly recommend it because it's got the metric measurements on one side and the imperial measurements on the other side, and you can guess what? Leslie needs to do a little trimming. Thought Richard put my trimmer over here. It was in the way when he came to eat. What did he do with it? He put it somewhere. Well, tonight is quite the night, you guys. Where the heck? Oh, I see. Put it way over here on the table with my Stampin', Cut, and Emboss machine. It doesn't belong over there. He doesn't know that. He was just trying to get it off the table where we were eating. So we're going to just take a little smidge, because that was a little wide. I should have given it not quite so much. So I'm going to go just to that edge, and I'm going to flip it and go just, so I'm going only to the edge here. So that's like a 1/16 of an inch or something crazy like that. So I'm taking just the tiniest little bit, and I think that will do what we need it to do. Let's take a look and see if that got this small enough. I guess I could have gone a little more. Well, my goodness. All right. There we go. Yeah, we don't want it real wide. That looks pretty even. Let's see if this is better. Just a little bit of pumpkin pie sticking out. And yeah, we're going to use this side. If that ever happens to you where you have and it's not much of a gap, but there's a little bit that shows, and just flip it over. Nobody's looking at that back there. All right, let's put some adhesive here. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so now we have our truck. We're going to put that right over here. Okay, we're going to pop that up on dimensionals. One more. Just because I can. I know. There we go. All right. Now, put that there. So we've got all our nice little trucks. And we're going to do a little more of this. But we're going to grab my snips and cut that off at an angle, and then I'm going to put this like this, and I'm going to do the same, I'm going to mimic that same angle. Okay, So we're gonna just do like that. Okay, and then we'll take this and just mimic that angle. And then I think we can cover up my little, oops. Oh yeah, we can. Look at that. Almost like it was meant to be. All right, so we'll put a dimensional way down here on this end. Okay, actually even two, I think. Like this. And then some adhesive down at this end. Because this end is going to be supported over here by these dimensionals, so this end needs dimensionals as well. So we'll just cover that right up like that. Get our little sending you sunny thoughts tucked into place. And there we go. All right. So that's that card, just using the stamp set. I didn't even bring the punch to the table, okay? Because you really and truly don't have to have it. There's certainly lots you can do without that, all right? So let's move a couple of things, and I have, okay, oh, I was starting to play around with this. Let me find the actual name. Let's see, what is this stuff actually called? It is called One Horse Open Sleigh, designer series paper, okay? And so I took a piece of that and I cut, so I cut the really big tree off, okay? And I'm going to add our, so this is 4 by 5 1/4, so this will go right on. I had a card base here just a minute ago because I saw it and I went, why is that still here? But we could use it. Well, not on this tape. Oh, I see where it is. I set it aside when I was eating dinner. Okay, here we go. So we have a piece of Pool Party, which will look really nice with this. Could have used Lost Lagoon too. Okay. Hey Leslie, you should probably use your bone folder to fold that card. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna end up with that being our card front. But let's have a truck. So you can stamp right on your designer series paper. Okay. So let's see, we're gonna make this a nice dark brown truck, I think. Well, not too dark. We're gonna stamp off onto my scrap paper over here. All right, but we're gonna put the outline in Memento Black. So we'll get that, and we'll have our little truck just pull right up here in the foreground like this. Okay. There we go. So we've got our little truck, and he's ready for some wheels. Okay. I think I got him. It's really not that hard to line them up, I promise. Okay, so let's make the truck brown, but not too brown. So let's stamp that off so it'll be a little bit faded. And like that. And we could even, if I had green, which I don't, oh, I have my marker. Well, we'll just imagine that it came, the truck drove out here into the woods to get the Christmas tree. But I didn't get that yet. I don't have the right colors for what I want. So anyway, you could stamp right on there, okay? I'm not sure I love that, but it's okay. We'll work it out. So just so you know that you can stamp on your designer series paper. This might not have been the exact perfect piece to choose, but you can stamp right on your designer series paper. So anyway, that is kind of where we're at. Or you can stamp it and you can fussy cut it out and add it. Janet had the back side of this piece, which is green with like goldish, maybe wild wheat or something pattern, and she had 2 presents stacked up on it. It was a really cute card, but when I turned the piece over, I went, oh, I can't cover that up. That's too cute. So I'll find another piece and put the presents on that one. I haven't done that yet. But anyway, so I just loved the little A-frame chalet, and so I just had the truck pull in. It's bringing the Christmas tree and arriving at the house for the holidays. So there's the one we made, and there's the one with the slimline card. So lots of ways to use the truck without using the punch. Okay, so if you've been holding off, don't. Just get the stamp set, and you can pick up the punch later. You know, don't hold back now. It's just way too much fun. So anyway, thanks so much, and I will see you next week. I'm working on, no, I put that on the other table too. I'm working on a way to do Christmas cards this year. Normally I schedule a Stamp-A-Stack for August, and I didn't, and things are getting a little hectic and so forth, and so anyway, I'm looking for ways that I might be able to offer multiples of Christmas cards if you let me know ahead of time which ones you want to do. So maybe one of these days a live will be just Christmas cards, and then you can help me decide which ones you want. You know, I'll put a post in or something. I'll send an email with them all the samples numbered, and you can decide that you want to do 5 of number 3 and whatever. Okay, so I do have Christmas cards scheduled in for the last 2 days of September. Okay, so, but I don't think I'll do it the exact same way as I've done in past years. So anyway, just as an FYI. All right, well, thanks so much for joining me. I'm so glad you were here, and I will see you next week on the 15th. Okay? All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.